Hello. I can tell it's almost mid-February because it's still really bright out here in Arizona. Welcome to Wednesday, more than maybe, although it looks like maybe there's some snow happening for a lot of people. Bonjour, Paul. Hello, Mike G. How's it going, Fred? Welcome, Suzanne. Hello to Ruth. Welcome, Bill J and Saban and Bill B. Hi to Brian Sweeney. Let me get my phone switched to airplane mode before I forget. All right. And let me get I don't think I had set up our time on here yet. All right. We're not quite at our agreed upon 15 minutes past, so you made it for sure, Saban. Hey, Felina. Welcome. You're still, so we started early, so nobody's late at this point. I just hopped over from the info session, I think is what Susan Piper called it, but for her new book. And you've become a Zen person when you have like opinions about the translation of a ancient Buddhist text. So I think some folks may be joining in like 10 minutes or so, because I think it runs until 1:30. All right. So if you have never been here before, my name is Andrew. I'm a certified mindfulness meditation coach through Unified Mindfulness. Some folks will know me from the Do Nothing Project, where I sometimes fill in for Jeff Warren, and I am the oftentimes chat moderator along with Fred. It looks like it's really cold up in Minnesota. My brother lives up by Mora, and he was talking about how we're going to get some more snow, I think. So welcome, Gabrielle. All right, so so Jedi Jess is in Minnesota too. Well, that's great. Okay, so we've got. So I've lived in Arizona long enough now that I was born in Minnesota, but not necessarily. I spent not quite 12 years there, and then I'm back like pretty much every summer. I do go back during the winter to occasionally remind myself what the winters are like. So, all right. So what did we normally do? We do a 25-minute sit where we do a technique of some sort, usually quite minimal, and then we have 5 minutes at the end where we do nothing. So, yes, I was there long enough to like hockey. So I actually don't. Well, actually, you can see that is Chris Osgood figure, and then that's Gordie Howe, and that's me in front of the Spirit of Detroit. But we don't have to talk about that. So I was just going to say, there's something in my background that has to be hockey related. And I don't know how some people feel about this, but this may be controversial, but I have a lot of lucky pucks, and so this is one of my favorites. So I was told by one of my friends who's Canadian that not everybody likes Canadian Tire. So because I was like, I thought everybody likes Canadian Tire in Canada. He said not everybody. So all right, I got one more. Don't want this to turn into show and tell, but I got one more hockey puck. So so there we go. So yeah, I always delighted in when I used to get to watch the live the live Hockey Night in Canada feed, and for a long time when you were getting your center ice package, through DirecTV, you would get games. You would get the feed that you got was actually the local feed from Charlottetown, I think it's called. I think that's PEI, Prince Edward Island. Anyway, it was amazing because you got to have like the local TV commercials for Charlottetown. I think it's Charlottetown. Maybe I'm misremembering. Anyway, and then just for my hockey cred, I've been to 23 of the 32 arenas. So there we go. All right, I've given you a bunch of information that's not about meditation, which is just a crime. Why would I do that? So anyway, what we're gonna do is we're gonna sit for 25 minutes. And again, the technique will probably be very minimal, and then we might have like 6 minutes of do nothing at the end. We'll see where we land, but that's what I'm imagining. So yeah, and then we'll finish with a little bit of time for experience reports, questions that maybe I can offer some sort of response to, and things like that. So yeah. All right. Thank you for being here. Okay. So 25 minutes on the clock. All right. Never know how I'm going to ring the bell. That was really soft. All right. Hopefully you can hear that. All right. So we're just beginning, just settle into our posture. So it's like I always kind of have this when I'm starting, it's sort of taking my seat, right? So to start a class, you got in your seat and we're ready for whatever the lesson plan had to offer. So kind of the same thing for me. Every sit is slightly different. Nothing is exactly the same. We start out with just trying to get our posture in a way that supports being still and relaxed and alert. So upright without being uptight, allowing the spine to have its natural curvature. Just sampling a little bit of what it's like to be you in the moment. So I was feeling a little bit of that slowness at the end of my day, a little bit of like I could just lay down on this floor and go to sleep. So just knowing that I might have a little bit of sluggishness. And then finally, a few deliberate breaths. Slow and low is the tempo we're going for. Again, breathing in slow through the nose allows us to breathe low into the belly. And then when the breath turns around and becomes the inhale, turns around and becomes the exhale. Just seeing if we can extend or accentuate that exhale. And sometimes all I need is 3 breaths and I can kind of feel a shift in my experience. And if I don't, again, no big deal. So we'll work with a home base today, but loosely. In other words, we're not going to be right up on our home base. We're just going to be trying to allow concentration on it, but not hyper focus. So when we're picking a home base, we're usually trying to find something that's relatively stable. If it's something that the attention kind of slips off every so often, that's not a problem. That helps us to be aware and kind of almost feel like the gives you the traction control light on your car. So see that you're not quite there and then bring the attention back. So I'll offer just focusing on the body. The label that I use or that we use in is feel. And that could be physical sensations. It could also be emotional body sensations. So I'll offer you two options to play with. You're welcome to come up with your own. But first option is the pressure points where your body meets whatever you're being supported by. So the feet, back of the hamstrings, the sit bones, maybe the low back in a chair. So just being aware of the contact points. And then the second option, if you want something more dynamic, is the breath. And within the breath, you could focus on anywhere you feel the breath. Totally fine. But in either case, our technique is the same. Focus our attention on that home base. Notice where our attention is. Soak the attention in, and then optionally label. Our label for this is feel. And when we invariably notice that we've wandered off and we haven't been in contact with our home base, we notice that. We skillfully avoid making a big deal out of it and bring our attention back. Over and over again if necessary. So again, you've got a few choices. Contact points, breath. And the last reminder is if you feel like the label feel is not helping you, you can drop the label and just stay with the noticing. So explore on your own, and I'll check in a bit. So just a pointer a bit on the labeling. I mentioned you could drop the labeling. You can go the other way too and increase the frequency of the labeling as we're noting. So that's one other option. And then the last one is if you feel really drawn to another home base. Sometimes we don't know which home base we want until we've picked one, and then we want the other one. So know that you can switch. We're just trying to avoid channel surfing. All right, so keep going. And so a reminder, you can, if you feel like you're in a good groove, then can keep on keeping on. But this is your opportunity to put the technique down and move into do nothing. And in do nothing, we let go of any intention to control our attention, and we let whatever arises arise. Or we can use another frame for that, just sitting and knowing that we're sitting. I'll invite the bell to signal the end of our sit. Thank you for your practice. Thank you for making time to be here on a Wednesday. May our actions be for the benefit of all beings. And so I just realized too, I looked up, I glossed over the ice storm. So I hope all the folks are well on that front. The biggest worry of ice storms I know from my dad, he always had, was power going out. So I know my brother, so there was a comment about how do you survive up north. My brother has a pellet stove, and that's and that doesn't, they can run that power or no power. They've got a battery pack that they can plug into. So, that's great to hear, Saban, and you're very welcome, everyone. Trisha and Moira, good to see you again. So I think I noticed Moira was in Susan Piver's session just before this. So yeah, the generator's a must. This is what my brother had always said. So they've switched to the battery generators now. So, but he's got the regular generators to back up. Enough generator talk. Hopefully you won't have to use it. It's good to, sometimes you have something and then that means you don't have to use it. I own many a thing like that. So, oh, Jill. Okay, so you did see the Instagram post. So today was an uncharacteristically organized day where I sent out the message earlier than I normally do, and then also got an Instagram post. So just a reminder is that on Instagram, I've been posting posting under leonards.coaching. Also been posting some quotes from reading Susan Piver's new book, The Inexplicable Joy, I think is the title. It's a short book on the Heart Sutra, which is a Buddhist, Mahayana Buddhist text. So, and I also don't claim to totally understand it. So, folks, maybe I may have mentioned this. I don't know if I have any of his books, but Brad Warner's first book, Heart Grows In, has a bit of information on the Heart Sutra and things like that. So the audiobook version of it has the Heart Sutra chapter, has him also chanting it along. So that's a little bonus on that. And then if you signed up for Susan's thing, but you didn't make it, I think they'll make a recording of it available. So that's one of the nice, it's one of the really nice things. So, yeah. And then Jeff is your guide on Sunday. I'm continuing to work on stuff for March. Looking at trying to do like a check-in, a Zoom check-in for some points within that March. So that's a march toward more mindfulness. And I think that I did not include my Substack, but I think it's my name .substack.com. Maybe. Let's see. As I flash a bunch of bright lights on my face. Yeah, I think that's it. So I should be including that. I always forget. But yeah, Dre, the for the March, just having some Zoom check-in, just standpoint of practice, comments, questions, reports, things like that. Also might serve as an accountability kind of thing, if that's also what you want. Of course, no unsolicited accountability, only accountability you're signed up for. But yeah, so that's what's on the docket. And yeah, I think that's everything. All right, good. So Paul likes the Zoom idea. I know Fred had talked about there being a Zoom one in the past. Bill B and Gabrielle were able to join, and Angie were able to join the only Zoom thing we had at one point. So, but and that was like I think I had bad internet back then. So, so we do a Zoom sit, and then we just the format for that. And then I pointed out the practice opportunities with or the thing for Susan's new book. Want to point out I'll point out more practice opportunities. Some folks have mentioned, like if you're looking for an opportunity to find someone to sit with, but you don't have a local community. So Kevin Lacroix does the Morning Bell. That's part of the CEC Meditate. Kevin's part of their teaching faculty. I know that Krista Miglio also has a community, so I'll include some information or has a group that gathers together, and or maybe it's a community, but gathers together, and that's a practice opportunity. The Zen group that I sit with does a silent sit in the mornings and the evenings for just sitting, so technically do nothing. So that's information as well. Seeds has the Seeds meditation group or meditation community. Seeds is hosting, I don't know if there's still room, but Ralph, who folks will know as a guest teacher here, but so mention Paul and Ruth are both mentioning Seeds, but Aaron, gosh, why can't I remember Aaron's name now? Aaron, Meg, and Ralph are guiding, I believe, are leading a retreat that's coming up. And maybe, hopefully, it's coming up, or else I'm giving you information that isn't helpful. It will only be helpful to you if you are a time traveler. But yeah, so the Seeds group, I think, is it's coming up, and it's it's at Mount Carmel, I think, isn't it? Yes, and Carly that was the one opportunity I'd mentioned in as well. I haven't done the Meditate Your Face Off yet, but the group that I sat with on Tuesdays. Okay, May 2nd through the 9th. Okay, good. For some reason, I thought it was March 2nd through the 9th. I will get info on that if you're close to that area, so that you get an opportunity to practice with Aaron and Meg. Aaron was in my cohort for UM group, and then I think Meg was right after me, and then Ralph was a part of the teaching coaching group for all people mentioned. So. Okay, so it is Niagara Falls. Okay, so why did I think it was Mount Carmel Center for some reason? Okay. Well, anyway, I should have links ready for this, so I wasn't prepared. All right, well, you have 7 minutes until the top of the hour, so have a great rest of your Wednesday. Happy Thursday to all our folks tuning in from Australia, and everyone watching the recording. Thank you for being here as well, and I will see you next week. Bye.